All right, what's up, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's video, we are going to talk about the PTR update notes that happened earlier today. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Kind of wanted to talk about it. Kind of wanted to talk about a couple of interesting tidbits in here because it falls in line with some videos I plan on doing later this week. So let's dive into it. Number one, highlights. New pocket dungeons. These are Apothecarium Dreadmire, Communion, the Gypsum Outpost, and Stonehold. Added an outpost in the Sand Squall Desert to accommodate the future squalls and node with new unique commodities. So an entire new node's coming out there. Added 2 new lawless zones of influence for future Jinnah, I don't know how to say that, and Squall's end nodes. This expanded area in the Sand Squall Desert is a work in progress. So for those of you guys that don't know, we currently have 2 lawless zones. There's one which is the tropics, and then there is another one in the desert. It is in between Aethanar, Azmoran, and Sunhaven, and to the north in Miraleth. It's kind of in the middle. Looking at the map of the PTR, they basically turned that lawless zone into a non-lawless zone. They smushed together, they drew new lines for where those nodes are, and off to the east and the southeast of the desert are 2 new areas, 2 new areas that will eventually be nodes, which are the current lawless zones of influence. So the desert is getting expanded once again. I know it doesn't exist. Why are they expanding on something that doesn't exist? I don't get it either. I don't understand, guys, but this is what's going on. But yeah, more and more content's adding there. We'll have to see what's going on with their next big update, which I think is in a couple weeks. Enemies and NPCs. Sand Squall Desert Dungeons have new rewards from named mobs. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Fewer NPCs will spawn under the ground or in the air. This is great. Citadel the Steel Bloom performance has been really bad this entire time, and I think a lot of it is because there's just so many NPCs spawning underground, and there's just so many more ads there that you cannot see, and it drops everything to crap even when nobody else is there. Crystal Golems have been renamed. Increase the respawn time of the Djinn-bound to 120 seconds. 1 and 2 star fire skeletons can now spawn. Interesting. 3-star armored bear elites and a unique armored bear boss have been added. Okay, so we got new elites and bear boss, so potentially new drops. It might be easier to get bear hide, would be my guess from this. I know it's harder to get bear skins at the moment, the higher rarity ones, so this might be the way to go about doing that. Bandit Captain and Bandit Healer elite star ranks have been adjusted. The NPC enemy population has been updated in Befallen Forge, Snakebite Stash, the Tower of Carfin, Brood Pit, and the Sand Squall Desert. The NPC enemy population has been updated in and around Aethanar and Azmoran. Visual effects have been updated for Sclarisha, Bellow Smasher, Flaming Skeletons, Rock Elementals, Bears, Hippos, and Ostrakhan. Haven't seen this one. Okay, so we got more visual effects. This is something they said early on in Alpha 2. They said a lot of behaviors that we're going to see from NPCs early on in the Alpha 2 phase are placeholders. We know phase 1 was a performance phase, a performance and stability phase, and having a bunch of different things going on just can help muddy that. And so we're seeing more and more character being added with different visual effects. Animations have been updated for Sclarisha, Rock Giants, Rock Monsters, Rock Elementals, Skeleton Reapers, Tortoises, and Hefty Caplings. All right. Enemy behavior with Forge Lord Zammer, Hippos, and the Undead Denier has been updated. Cool. Snakebite Stash adjusted the speed of scorpions here. All right. And then we got some caravan fixes. Caravans can no longer be helped or harmed without first joining the caravan event. Okay. Well, I'll talk about my thoughts on this later on. 2, fixed a bug that allowed unattackable caravans to be launched. This has been a pretty serious issue. This has been going on for a while. I'm glad they finally got a fix for this. I was reading the Discord, and Steven said that this fix should be coming into Alpha 2 on Thursday when the new week starts up. So I'm optimistic that this is happening. I'm not going to explain how to go about doing this in case it hasn't. It doesn't get fixed at that point in time, but I'm really hopeful that this does happen. And then 3, leaving a caravan event and logging out will no longer put a character back in the caravan event. Okay, so caravans have had some issues. It is one of my favorite systems to interact with, and I basically have stopped interacting with them from an attacker's perspective entirely because of things that have been happening. And so currently, for the last month or so that I've known of, I don't know how long it's lasted, there has been a way to get invincible caravans where you couldn't interact with them. And so people would run along. Even if you wanted to attack them, you couldn't join as an attacker. It was really easy to do. I made it by mistake. Once I was able to replicate it, I sent in a report for it. But these things kind of spread. Like, how can you tell? How can Intrepid tell if these things are invincible or not? Can they tell if you're doing this on purpose? That's kind of the stuff that was going on with it. So this is happening. And so you'd run across these caravans you couldn't interact with. Well, eventually people figured out what you can do is you can flag up on them, and you can flag up and interact with them without engaging in the system. This is a way to bypass the glitch that they were doing. And so in that way, it was helpful because you could actually get past somebody using an exploited caravan, and you could potentially kill the caravan. There's a bunch of other issues. One of the latest ones that we encountered with, they were running one of these. We all flagged up. We attacked them. They decided to flag up and fight back, so we killed the driver. The driver then logged out, and when they logged out, they had invincibility protection, or when they respawned, when they died, they respawned, and when they respawned, they logged out. So they had invincibility protection for like 30, however many seconds it is, while their caravan takes that while you're at the Ember Spring, and then they logged out, and then their caravan disappeared. And so all those situations are just really annoying. There used to be, I don't know if it still exists, but there was a way in the past to where you could be outside of the caravan event healing caravans. So if people were getting attacked, people could just run along the outside and keep your caravan alive by healing it from outside of the event. I'm pretty sure you can still do that with group members. I don't know if you can do that with the caravan specifically. So there's a lot of different interactions while flagging up for these events. These events don't really have the strictest of rule sets yet. With finding attackers and defenders, sometimes people can kind of muddy the lines. It's a pain in the ass. It's really annoying. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. But hopefully, a lot of this is going away with the unattackable caravans being attackable. And so I'm going to be trying to attack more this weekend. We'll see how the fixes are in place. But yeah, overall, it's a good system. It's a fun system that needs a lot of work, and these are good steps. I think these things are a good thing, not being able to heal and defend the caravan. But this was a good means to an end. Being able to attack the caravan by flagging up was a solid means to the end when you had invincible caravans. But the good fix, my point is the good fix is to just not have that being an issue to begin with. Anyway, enough talk about caravans. Let's move on. Quests, events, and commissions. More commissions are available in the Sand Squall Desert. Staunch the Bloodblade can now be completed. Ostracon Hunt event has a reward added to the end. Updated many events so that they can now be completed, and their markers have been updated to reflect their actual locations. Economy and artisanship. Huntable creatures have been updated to provide more of the intended experience for hunting and animal husbandry. I'm excited to see what this means. It's a little bit hard to get certain materials. We have a couple of our hunters talking about this. It'll be interesting to see what this is getting expanded to. Fixed a large number of floating gatherables. Adjusted the marketplace list item pop-up to display the pre-tax listing price. Excellent. Fixed the bug causing commodity tooltips to show commodities as being worth 0 copper. Ancient Dungeon longbow and shortbow recipes have been fixed. This is awesome. My guild was trying to make some longbows last week, and we got everything together, and we went into, I'm sure everybody experienced this. I'm not the only one. I'm preaching to the choir here. We went in to make some, and the recipe didn't work. And so it was unfortunate. It was sad because you start looking at that physical power and you start adding it up with your own, and you get hopeful. And hopefully we can get in there and actually do it now. Obsidian jewelry recipes have been fixed. Forsaken spellbooks will now be crafted at the correct rarity. Recipes that were supposed to use dried acacia and date palm have been fixed. All right. User interface stuff. Added the option to show or hide your character's helmet. Excellent. Updated icons for quest delivery, quest completion, PvP flags, node icons, and empty artisan ship gear slots. The inventory background has been updated. A 10-second pop-up will appear when receiving a friend request. If this request is timed out or closed, the invite will not be declined. The friend request will appear in the social menu. All right, chat window styling has been updated. Be interested to see that. Save changes will now work after using the restore defaults button in the loot settings menu. Adjusted the color of toggle generated action buttons. Added a storage button to the commodity vendor to open and close the storage window. Visuals. Sand Squall Desert environment and visuals have been updated. Again, Sand Squall Desert dungeon environments have been updated. All right, I'll have to go check out the dungeons again. They were just holes in the wall the last time I was there. Sand Squall Desert world map has been updated. Tower of Carfin has updated visuals. We'll have to check that out. Updated lighting pass for the Tower of Carfin, Ursine Caves, and the Brood Pit. And then removed a green light that would appear during sunrise. Audio, rain sound effects have been updated. Idle music will now fade out as intended. General audio cleanup passes. And then general changes. The Rebels reward bracers have been updated to a heavy set bonus. Fix the bugs that would cause characters to be attacked by soldiers if they died in the Sand Squall Desert. Fixed a bug preventing a character from being able to respawn at their home choice Ember Shrine. Fixed the number of server and client crashes. Fixed a variety of descriptions on items and equipment. Fixed a bug that would prevent gender selection after race selection had been completed during the character creation. Updated animations for the Daystrider Mule. I'll have to check that out. And fix some issues with floating freeholds. So yeah, a lot of changes coming up in this upcoming PTR fix. Keep in mind, guys, these things are only on the PTR. A couple of them should be available, according to Steven. From what I saw on Discord, the Caravan fix should be available Thursday. We don't know for sure, but this is what's currently on the PTR. I don't know when this is going to come live to Alpha 2 specifically, but you would think it would be relatively soon. If a few of those things are coming in, maybe these are all coming in. I guess we'll find out Thursday, but this is pretty good stuff. We got more expansion into the desert. We have 2 new lawless zones to go check out. I'll check that out this week. Maybe I'll live stream it, going out there to adventure and, getting my ass kicked and maybe kicking a little bit of ass myself. It'll be a good time. But yeah, that's the end of these notes. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below and I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.